Welcome to another video in our series on finding, writing, and citing. This video is the second of a two-part series on taking notes and keeping them organized. If you recall from the previous video, we introduced the concept of organizing your research using note cards. We created two types of note cards, the source card and the topical or subject card. The source card we fill out by simply taking our list of references and making one and only one card for each resource. We want to give each source card a unique number, which we will use as a shorthand link to this source information when taking notes. We take these notes on our topical cards so that we can group and regroup from various sources as we work our way through the ideas to be covered in our dissertations. Note cards are a great way of keeping track of where you got your information from, but of course using the paper version means you miss out on the cut and paste convenience of an electronic version, which is why in this video we demonstrate a possible way of having electronic note cards with Google Keep. No doubt you could adapt other tools for the same purpose, and there are also note-taking software products and online services available if you don't mind paying out of pocket, but Google Keep works well with the rest of the G Suite for education tools in the WMU toolbox, and it's free to use. So without further ado, let's take a look at a resource we want to use. Okay, here is an article that I found in Science Direct, and we have access to the full text. Before we take a look at the full text, though, let's remember that we can export the bibliographic information to RefWorks, which I actually have already done. We've added it here to our list of resources. It is this one here, okay? Be sure before you do anything that you have verified that the information is in the correct place, everything's properly capitalized and alphabetized according to the APA rules. You can do that by comparing against the actual PDF, which I'm looking at here. Okay, so once you've made that, if you need to, you can use these fields to edit, etc. Okay, everything looks to be in order, so we've got our bibliographic information. Okay, so before we do anything else, having saved it to RefWorks, like we have here, we now want to create a source card for this resource. Well, the first thing we need to do is get the bibliographic information, so let's do that by just selecting it, clicking that quote mark, create bibliography, and there we are. Just copy to the clipboard. Okay, paste it in, and there you go. Okay, I'm going to identify this as a source card simply by typing the word source. It may come in handy later, but it's easy to identify it as a source card code. Something I'm going to need to do at this point is provide a reference number. Remember, we need that shortcut reference number. So instead of doing that, creating my own number, I'm going to go ahead and use a RefWorks number that this was assigned when I imported the reference. So you see it's Ref 131. So I go here, and this is the label feature. Okay, I'm going to add a label. My convention for all my references is to, you can do this however you want, is to precede it with a full stop or dot, ref underscore, let's see, the number was 131, and then I go ahead and put the basic citation information just so I can keep it straight. I believe the author is you, okay, 2015, and there we go. Now, so I've applied a label. There. Now I've got my reference card, and it's linked to my reference for when I need more information, but I've got the information right there. Okay, the other thing I want to do is identify this as a source card using a label, and I already have one pre-created, so this says change labels, and really what I want to do is add, which is the same function. I do ... source, and that's just so I can see that at the very top of my list. I want to see that. So there, it's a source. So there's the note card. That's my source card. Now look what happens when I click source. I see all the other sources that I've been using, all the other source cards. I've color-coded them. That's an option. You don't really have to do that. I'm just was showing that feature exists. So when I click source, there it is. You'll note that I've archived most of my cards, and that's just so I can keep my plate clean, my canvas nice and white to work on. But you don't have to. Um, so anytime that I click that, there I'll see. So now I'm going to go back to just my blank notes. I want to create a topical card. So I need to take another card. Before I do that, I need to actually find something. So let's say I'm reading through this article and I want to come across something that seems noteworthy, taking notes on. So here we go. I've got something here already highlighted. I'm going to grab that exactly, copying it into my clipboard. I note the page number, 177. Okay, so I'm going to go like so. I'm going to put page 177 so I know where I found it. Now I need to link this to the source. So let's go ahead and add a label. And remember, it's Ref 131. Okay, now when I click Ref 131, I will see us. Let's go ahead and go back to, let's see, my Ref 131. Where did you? Oh, not the archives. Okay. Anyway, you're just going to see these cards: a source and a topical card. Now I haven't given it any topics. We're going to do that again through labels. So the first thing I'm going to do, remember it says change labels. I really want to add label, but it's the same option. When I do labels, I have done dot subject dot, and let's see, I'm looking at this. I want to add the label technology. Okay, there. Now I have created one for the subject technology. If I were to go down here and let's say looking at all my source cards and I go to subject technology, I'm only seeing the one card, but I can see the reference that it's linked to. One thing I forgot, very important. I'm editing this link and I'm putting quotes around it because remember, this is an exact quote, so I want to be able to remember that if I ever use that. So while I'm here, I want to see if there's any other topics that apply. I'm going to change labels, and I believe subject cleanup applies. That's something I've already used. Okay, so now what happens if I click subject cleanup? Well, look, these are all cards I created from many other resources on the subject of cleanup. So each one of these has a reference card. So I click that and I can see the references. Let's go back to subject cleanup and I can look at, this one has two more topics. So I can see subject court cases, pulls that up. So you see how they're linked. And this way, you can just take notes, keep them organized however you want, slice and dice, shuffle and reshuffle, and as long as you've got the proper topic labels, you can look at many different pieces of information pulled from many different sources that cover that topic, and then you just need to, to get the full source information when you need it, you've got a reference right back to your RefWorks. Okay, something else I want to mention, we are not getting into all the functions of how Google Keep actually works. We have a series of training videos here. If you just pull that icon down on the top right, if you can't see that icon, that's because you're not logged into Chrome, so do so by just logging in with your WMU ID, and then you'll see those series of videos. And that'll give you some pointers on how to use Google Keep for all sorts of stuff, not just note-taking. Okay, I think that about covers it, and this will give you an idea of how you can stay organized and take accurate notes and always have a link back to the source card, if you will, in RefWorks. And so I wish you happy hunting and that this will help you stay organized. And thank you for your time.